something is not clear, please interrupt me. Sometimes is a little bit too fast, what I tell. So what is SeaTable? SeaTable is, in the end, or I would describe it like this, it's a low-code platform which helps you to create your own business processes, to digitalize your processes, and you don't need any coding skills for this. And also a main differentiation between two other solutions is we offer a self-hosted solution. So we offer the possibility that you host it yourself so that you keep all your data within your company, within your reach, and don't have to give it, well, to any SaaS company. So what is, in the first moment, if you have a look at SeaTable, it looks like a spreadsheet. It looks like Excel, in fact, but SeaTable offers so much more. You have the possibility to define, via the web browser, a database structure, but you also have also included the functionality to put any kind of permissions and also input and output options and also workflows. And this is something I just want to show you that you not only see the interface, because this is the main interface. As soon as you create, we call it a base, it's basically a database, but it looks like a spreadsheet. You have columns and you have rows, and in the beginning you just define what kind of columns do I have, and you have to define what kind of data is stored in these columns. So you can see the first column, where the mouse is just pointed by accident, it's a text column, so you can only enter text. The second one is a so-called single select column, so you can only select options that are predefined. Then we have, for sure, checkboxes, we have image columns, we have columns who are connected to a person, so a collaborator, we call it, we have dates, and we have long text, and we also have link columns, and with these link columns you can connect one row of one table to a row of another table. So it's really a database function. It's not like a spreadsheet where you just enter all the information. No, you have database functionality where you can create connections or linkages between the different tables. Okay, very short example. Some weeks ago, I talked to the Chief Digitalization Officer of the city of Mainz. And he wanted to know, what can I do with SeaTable? And I made the example, I will show him how I would try to improve a process of the city of Mainz. Because I just came to the office, to his building, and I just went to the reception area, and I told the woman sitting on the reception, hello, my name is Christoph Dyllick, I would like to meet Mr. Blanz from city of Mainz. Yeah, can you introduce him that I'm there? And she opened just a book, and she looked for a handwritten entry with my name, and there was also a phone number, so she picked up the phone, called the number, and said, hello, Mr. Blanz, Mr. Dyllick is here, and then she just crossed out my name. Okay, and I asked Mr. Blanz, okay, I assume your process about visitor registration is like you write an email, or you take the phone, and you call the reception and just tell them, tomorrow there will be Mr. Dyllick approaching at 10, please allow him to come in. And I would like to, yeah, and my proposal was, that I would like to digitalize this project or this process with him within about 5 minutes. And so he was like, okay, let's try. And what I would like to show him is, well, okay, let's just take a browser. Let's just log in. And we just start from scratch and say, okay, let's visitor registration. And I start with a blank database. And now, what kind of information do I have to store to make a reservation for a visitor? Well, I need the date where the person is approaching. So I need a date column. I just selected date, German, fine. So I have the name, Christoph, and I just visited, I will visit next week on Wednesday, and now the contact person. Now I can decide what kind of column I want to have. For example, I can use the collaborator column, so that means I'm only allowed to put in users that are registered for the system. So that means if Mr. Blanz is registered for the space, he just can select himself, and then we just have a very, 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 very limited but functional database, and I only need one more checkbox, for example, is there, for example. So this might be my super minimal base for digitalizing this registration process, but this is just at the beginning, because now I defined the database structure. Now I want to create, for example, a web form where the employees can register a new visitor for tomorrow. And SeaTable helps with this. I just go over it on top on here, click on Forms, say I want to create a new web form. And SeaTable offers me all my database entries I already created, or my columns, and I can just move them to this web form. Do I need more? No, that's everything. So it's already saved, and SeaTable provides me with a URL. I can just open in a new tab. And this is the web form that SeaTable creates for me, and I can share this with all my employees at the City of Mainz, and they can be instructed to use this web form only to register new visitors for the next days. So instead of just calling or writing them an email, you have a very clear process. Everybody who wants to register a new visitor just has to enter, okay, and he will visit us next Thursday. And this is it. This is the process for the employees. They have to use a web form instead of just the phone or the email, and the data is now in the database. Okay, but this is only the beginning. Now we can go on and say, okay, we need an interface for the person sitting at the desk, at the reception. They need a kind of list where they can see, okay, today there will be these persons, and they just have to sign it as soon as they arrive. And therefore we can use, for example, we can create a specific view. And for example, visiting today. And now I have created a new view, and a view is defined by sorting, filtering, grouping. And for example, I can filter this database entries just by, okay, date should be not exact date, but today. And as you can see, okay, today nobody will be a visitor today. So it doesn't make sense, but probably tomorrow or something. But that's still even not it. We can even make it more easy for the persons at the reception to work with SeaTable, because as you can see, there are so many stuff walking around. So you have some icons on top there, on top right. You have the possibility to create filters. You make it even more easy for them to work with them. And therefore, SeaTable created this so-called apps. And there, for example, we can create a universal app. Today. So I create an app, and the app is the possibility to predefine a specific view on the data of the database. So I can say, okay, I would like to create a specific application that is only used by the women or the man sitting at the desk. And for them, I create just this table view. I select as the basis the table 1. And now I can pre-filter what kind of data these persons should see. For example, I can just hide the last column. I can pre-filter the data, and then I can provide a URL to these persons and say, okay, this is your specific application that is only for your task. So I don't want to go on. I just promised that I will take need only 10 minutes, so I think I'm already quite close to this 10 minutes. But it should help you to get an understanding of SeaTable is not just a spreadsheet-like interface. SeaTable is, well, it depends who you're talking with. If you're just talking to a user, you can tell them, okay, SeaTable is a software you can create specific apps for specific processes. If you're talking to a developer, you can tell, well, SeaTable is in fact a database, but a database where you already have authentication and permission already included. You also have a visual interface to interact with your database, but you can use it like an SQL database. And if you talk to a manager, you can tell them, well, it's in fact a kind of data mining, data processing, visualization tool where you can create custom statistics. So SeaTable is super flexible. We don't have a specific use case in mind. SeaTable is, well, the Swiss Army knife to deal with many different challenges. Swiss Army knife? It's okay? I don't know. Okay, let's just quickly jump over what I want to show you in addition. What I didn't show you is SeaTable offers also, it's integrated with Office online editors. That means as soon as you have, for example, some files in a file column, you can just double click on it and only Office or Collabora Online will just open up and you can work directly or interact simultaneously on this Office document. You have advanced statistics already included. That means if you have hundreds of rows, you have a so-called plugin and you just can open it and it will automatically create statistics for you based on the data you have in a base. You have the possibility to create buttons and these buttons execute some actions on your data. For example, you can lock a row, you can change value in a row, you can send emails. This is so a kind of automation, but you have to manually click on the button. And on the other hand, we have the possibility to create custom code with JavaScript or Python. Well, this is not no code anymore, but it gives you so much flexibility to interact with your data. Then we have, for example, another plugin. It's called the Page Design plugin, where you can use, it's like the Serienbrief in Excel, in Word, for example. You can take data from your base and predefine a kind of template. And you have static components, like, for example, the logo or the top heading. And then you dynamically pull in data from your base, and that fills out your document, and you just can create a PDF file or something, or can send it via email. And as I said, the universal app, from my point of view, is such a powerful feature because it enables you to provide to every stakeholder these kind of data they should want to see, or they should see, or they want to have. For example, you have the employees, the workers, they see totally different information like the management. So the one, they work with the data, others only see the data, others, want to approve the data. So I think this is, that's basically it. This was my super fast introduction to SeaTable. I hope it helps everybody to get a basic understanding of what SeaTable is and to understand better the different presentations of today. If something is unclear, please just approach me in the breaks, and I will try to clarify everything what might be not clear yet. And then I would like to hand over to Jonathan Daniel to give a short update about future features.